Welcome back to the show, and I want to talk about today. This video is it's really for everybody, but it's exclusively for men because I looked at my analytics, and it looks like that most males watch my show. There are some females that support, but they are very much in the minority, and that's okay, and I'm cool with that. And I want to talk about today, and that's keeping masculine frame. And you obviously have already saw the title of the video, and that's what compelled you to click the link to look at the video. And we want to talk about my man Scottie Pippen from Hamburg, Arkansas. And so you already know what's going on. And there are probably dozens and dozens of videos and commentaries on what people think and how they're trying to break down this particular situation. And so I'm just throwing my hat into the ring, and hopefully you get something out of this. And so, as I alluded to earlier, I want to talk about keeping masculine frame. And as a man in the 21st century, it's super important to keep your masculine frame, because I feel like today men are now enemy of the state. So irregardless of your ethnicity, what walk of life you're from, if you're a man, you have a target, you have a bullseye on your back, and you have all these other various things that's coming against you. And it's important to remain as resilient as possible in every phase and every walk or every plight that you deal with in your life. Super important. And I want to talk about this cautionary tale and how not to become unglued, because unfortunately we are seeing a drama that has been probably already in progress, but now I think that it's gotten to a crescendo, it's gotten to its apex. And what we see now with Scottie is a man that is hurt, a man that is dealing with a lot of things internally, and anything that's inside will eventually come out. And I always use the analogy or the example of a volcano. A dormant volcano, after a while, it will eventually begin to show signs that it's going to erupt. Or if you take a 2-liter bottle of soda that's carbonated, or anything that's carbonated, and you drop that bottle, it's going to become volatile. And it only does damage when you release the top of it, when you twist the cap off. And I think that's what we're seeing that's unplanned with Scottie. And Scottie has notoriety, Scottie has riches, Scottie can walk anywhere on this planet, and he has instant notification in terms of who he is. So he has status in our society. He's a champion, he's a winner, he's tried, he's tested, he's admired by everybody. And I think Scottie's his public meltdown, or his public ungluing or unhinging, I think it started with TLD, and I use that as an abbreviation for The Last Dance, in which we already know Michael Jordan comes out with this documentary chronicling his career, and also 1998 season, which was the final running of the Bulls. And in my opinion, it painted Scottie in a less desirable state. Again, that's just my opinion. You focus on the Kukoc situation, and I can do a video on that, because I actually feel like Phil Jackson should have. You got your star player, he's an NBA all-star, or at least the MVP of the all-star game. He's leading the team in scoring, and yet you decide to get cute, right? And got lucky. You got lucky, right? When I think of Tony Kukoc, I don't think of clutch. That's just me. I'm gonna be in the minority. Oh well. But anyhow, right, we're gonna get back to Scottie. We're gonna stay on task. And this is why I always say that red pill, and if you don't know what red pill is, go look it up. You can go put a search in the search bar in YouTube, or go look it up. Red pill is essentially just, they say it's men going their own way, but really it's for men to take inventory of what they got going on in their lives and to be the best version of themselves. That's what that's for. The crimson pill, red pill, whatever you want to call it, that's what that's designed to do. It's to basically kick you in the ass or slap you in the face and shake you and tell you, hey, tighten up. That's what it's about. That's what it's for. It's not designed to bash women and do all this other stuff, right? Because some people go off on a tangent and they do this and say that. I don't believe in all that. I believe that it's really just designed to get you in line and get you aligned properly, so that you can go out and get what's yours. And part of, I think, red pill, a part of just being a resilient man and keeping masculine frame is being stoic. And that's just basically a fancy word for being emotionally resilient or being resilient in every part of your life. And one of the parts that's super, I'm kind of I lost my train of thought for a second. Part of it is negative visualization, and it's essentially picturing or imagining something. What's the worst thing that can happen? So worst case scenarios, you are perceiving that that's happened. It hasn't happened, but you're grasping the concept that it's occurred. And what it does, it's supposed to help you to emotionally mature. It's supposed to help you get to a certain point. So if I call it a life-changing event, such as a death or a divorce or infidelity or something happens and you're not the person that's causing it, you still have the ability to stay in masculine frame. And I think Scottie hasn't done enough. And I don't know who's in this corner. Nobody really knows that, but he has a lot going on, right? Michael Jordan does this, like I said, this special and talks about all this stuff. Then, not only that, Scottie has, I think, committed a cardinal sin. And what he's done, he's going out publicly and starting to vent publicly. Part of keeping masculine frame is never going on social media, never shooting videos that you're bitching and complaining and you whining about something, or even doing subliminals because you're hurt from some woman or hurt about a situation. You are taught as a man to, I won't say repress your feelings or try to keep them on the inside. You have to be selective and wise with how you deal with it. And that's why it's important to have the proper buddy system in place. Somebody that you trust if you feel like you need to vent, right? And sometimes it might just be a therapist, a licensed therapist. You got to go to that therapist. You got to be honest and be real with yourself before you have these meltdowns. Because now, again, Scottie going through all this stuff. And I feel for Scottie because, again, as I said, it's a recurring theme with this video. He's hurt. He hurt. You know, your wife, she's done enough. Larsa has done enough. And y'all can come to her defense if you like. I don't dislike. I don't have any skin in the game because Larsa ain't my old lady. Larsa ain't my wife. Larsa ain't a side. None of that stuff. But so I'm free to speak my mind and speak my opinion. But Larsa has done all this stuff. I am certain that somebody in Scottie's camp told him long ago, and he knows privately who those people were. And they said, don't marry her. Don't knock her up. Don't be with her because she is seeking something else. She's cut. Scottie, she's unequally yoked with you. She's not looking to be nurturing to you. She's looking to elevate herself up. And then once she feels like she's elevated enough for her exposure, boom, she's going to bolt. And that's what you saw. And so she's been with Future. She's been with all these other guys. And now all of a sudden she is with a man that's probably 20, 25 years her junior. And out of all people, it's Michael Jordan's son. And irregardless if you agree or disagree with what somebody has going on in their personal life, and that's fine. That's completely fine. I believe there's a code of ethics. There are certain things that you don't mess with. And to me, if you're a man and let's say you got a homeboy and he has a wife or has a girlfriend or a baby mom, you don't go holler at her. You don't go behind his back. You don't go sleep. You don't do any of that. I don't care if she come to you and try to make a pass at you. Your job is to maintain masculine frame and go and talk and tell your homeboy, hey man, you know your baby mama tried to holler at me. I got the text messages. She sent me these news. I'm just, I love you, my brother, and I'm not going to do you like that. That's important. But you have a lot of people that's going to side with Marcus and say, yeah, he doing this, he doing that, and Scottie's salty. Scottie's hurt. He's not just salty. I think he's more hurt because imagine this is the mother of your children, the mother of your kids, your wife, who you share intimate details with. She's now basically dating her son. I mean, that's what it come down to. And even though they're not related, I mean, what could a young man like that have in common with a much older woman? I maybe I'm missing the mark or missing the point, but I don't think she has anything in common. I think it's just to rub salt in Scottie's wound, and Scottie's had enough. And so now Scottie releases this most recent video. He says Michael Jordan's a horrible teammate. And I think people are holding on to the word horrible. I think what he's trying to say, and if you guys read Scottie's book, it's called Unguarded. Look it up. I got the book. I've read the book. He talks about how Doug Collins was a terrible coach. I agree, because all he basically did was appease to Michael Jordan. Okay, Michael, you can do this. You can freelance, Michael. You can do ISO. You can take 50 shots a game. And if anybody knows anything about basketball, It's a game of rhythm. Everybody has to get touches because it's not a me first. You could try that, and Jordan tried that. And that's what got Doug Collins fired, is let Mike do what he wants to do. And so Tex Winter comes in and says, hey, we want to do the triangle. Doug Collins, again, read the book. The Doug Collins berates and curses Tex Winter out and says, basically, we ain't trying to do none of that shit. We gonna go with what works. You get the ball at 23. And Phil Jackson, being a damn smart ass dude, seeing and observing that, but just not really saying much. And then finally, Jerry Krause, because Jerry Krause, it was an astute and a great GM. I don't care about what y'all want to say. That man put together a winner. He's dead and gone, but he's one of the main reasons that the Bulls went on an unprecedented 6-time NBA champions, period. Without Jerry Krause, none of that's happening. None of that's happening. It's not going to happen with Albot. It's not going to happen with Collins. It's not going to happen with nobody but Phil Jackson, Tex Winter, and Jerry Krause. Those are 3 guys that's not even on the court, but it's essentially the triangle is an extension of their brains, or at least Doug Collins and the late Tex Winter. But you have all this stuff that Scottie's talking about in the book, and you just see that it's just festering, it's hurt. And then Michael Jordan hadn't really said anything publicly, and he don't got to, right? Because no matter what he does, you guys are going to believe him anyway, right? You guys are going to be like, just like with Charles Barkley talks about Jordan and how Jordan is terrible GM. He is. Everybody jumps on Chuck and says, well, Chuck shouldn't say. No, Chuck's paid to do a job. Michael Jordan falls out with him. And now you have this grudge between these 2 guys, and they haven't spoken after leaving over a decade. And so it's safe to say now that you add another person to the list that Michael Jordan, I feel like, is alienated because he's been selfish. And I kind of went off on right field, left field, kind of off the topic of the video, but I think it all bleeds together. It's all confluent together, right? And I feel like Michael should have stepped in and said, look, son, no, I don't give a damn, no. And basically, if his son respected his dad, then he would say, you know what, we can't do this. And he might have done that. We don't know that, right? But more than likely, Mike probably is just this hands-off guy and says, hey, that's his affair. That's his bed. He's gonna have to line it. But you got to realize your brother in battle that you going in the trenches with against Detroit, against New York, against Miami, against all these other foes is hurting, and he don't know really how to release that anger or release that hurt or that pain that he's enduring. And so, in the end or the grand scheme of things, look at how celebrities are, because a lot of times we feel like, damn, I wish I could switch places with this guy. You don't, because he don't have emotional peace. He has emotional turmoil, and it's going to continue to fester and going to continue to bother him. So you don't want to trade spaces with him. You don't want to be like Scottie. You don't even want to be like Mike. You want to maintain masculine frame, and that's by being stoic. That's emotionally resilient. You want to never vent publicly. You want to be as masculine as possible. You can be vulnerable in the right space with the right person or the right people that you can trust. That's not going to throw it up. That's not going to leak it out to somebody else. That's very difficult to screen those people out. So you got to tread lightly with that. And then you also have to look at all these other factors that have come up as it relates to Scottie. So I think in the grand scheme of things, as I stated, that I'm hoping that maybe a sit down will occur, or maybe a phone call, and some things can get hashed out, because Scottie right now he's discredited himself, and people are really going in at him, and people are being, I think immature about it, because he saw it, everybody's LOL, and they're like, this is a man that's having a mental crisis, and nobody's really paying attention to that. That's the problem with social media. Everybody likes to cheer and be happy and laugh at when a person is in misery, but always remember that, as we continue to live, that adversity will always come knocking at your door in one form or another. And always remember how you treat people, or how you deal, or how you rejoice at their shortcomings. And so at the end of the day, hopefully Scottie can get over this. Some of the things that Scottie said, I agree with. I'm not going to sit here and say I completely agree with everything he said, but this recent round of dialogue that he's come out about Michael Jordan, I think it's the word horrible. But yes, Michael Jordan was a me first player, and if he had to change that stance to get where he's at now, without that, he's just a glorified scorer. He's a Allen Iverson. He's a Carmelo Anthony, a prolific basketball player, but somebody that don't have the accolades, or at least have the championships to back up or give them that merit or give them that full credibility that they were always desiring. So let me know what your thoughts are. I know I kind of covered a lot and kind of went left and right and zigzag, but I think hopefully I drove the point home is that be masculine at all times. Surround yourself with men that are like-minded, men that don't take crap from people, men that's going to hold you accountable, and men that's going to really help you. And when they have their vulnerable moments, they can share that with you, so that because you may be on the verge of doing something that's catastrophic or something that may cause you to lose a job or a career or lose something that's very coveted to you because of this, make sure that you pay attention to what's going on. And let me know again what your thoughts are. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's Bearded Queer, and this is All Things Considered. I'm gonna see y'all on the next video.